WEPA, also known as We Engage in Prevention Awareness, is a coalition dedicated to substance misuse prevention while creating healthy culture serving the youth and families of the Bronx. WEPA provides the community with civic engagement, education, information, and other strategies that increase awareness to help prevent addiction. And here to share more, please welcome WEPA's Executive Director, Reverend Addie Banks.
Thank you so much. It's great to be with you today.
Well, thank you for the service that you continue to provide for our community. I would love if we can give everyone a background on its origins, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, you're the founder and you also founded a group that is the, I guess, the home or the base to WEPA. So can you explain, I guess, its origins, its foundation, not just the programs that you're offering through WEPA, but where it started?
Oh, wonderful. Yes, I would love to tell that story. I'll try to make it a little brief. We started when I was pastoring in King of Glory was our congregation. And when we came into the community, there were so many needs. The community was actually redlined when we came into the community, moved there. Our congregation moved there from the South Bronx after the former congregation had burned, the church had burned down. So they moved to the Northwest Bronx. And at that time, it was a redlined community. Maybe 3 years after they moved there, the community became desolate. When they moved there, it was a beautiful, pristine community. I think that God has a sense of humor and puts us in the places where we're most needed. So they moved out of the South Bronx, away from the fires, to come right into a community that 3 years later was in desperate need. So the Groundswell group, which originated as the Groundswell Project, is actually the founder of WEPA. And Groundswell started with 12 people in our congregation who wanted to commit their professions to changing our community. So we started with 12 people, and they were from all different professions. We had teachers, maybe the largest number were educators. We had teachers, a couple of college professors on board. We had a couple of nurses. We had young people who were interested in writing and theater and the arts. And so we started as the Peace and Justice Committee of our congregation. And out of that, we began to go into schools because our church is one of the historic peace denomination churches. So we had a lot of resources around mediation, conflict resolution. So we started creating a program that we could go into schools. We could help with the situation around violence. And that moved us into the restorative justice practice. I piloted the program at Morris campus around restorative justice, probably maybe at the turn of the century. So we started there. We started really around the issues in our community. We were part of the 11 neighborhoods that were originally with the Northwest Bronx Community and Clergy Coalition. But we came into a neighborhood of where people were fleeing the fires, the burnings, the violence, the substance misuse, and we started working out of our congregation around ways that we could contribute to the healing of the community.
Right. So, and that seems to have been your mission. And I thought it was important that we share with our viewers the origins, because there's a lot of people involved. And this is almost a branch of what you've already laid down as the foundation, right? Or you and your congregation. And so with regards to the services that WEPA offers, I know that you offer certifications, and I'll be honest with you, I was very surprised to see how young you're targeting the individuals. I was a little taken back at, like, wow, 10 years old, that's as young as it begins?
It begins at 10. And it begins even before 10 sometimes. But 10, we're hearing stories of young people who started smoking pot at 10, young people who smoked with their parents, which was the shocking thing to me. So, yes, it starts at that age. And even in my own family and families that we're connected to in the congregation, it's surprising that we didn't talk to our children about this. We didn't talk to them about the dangers or about the peer pressure. And you think you did, but you didn't, because this is what we hear when young people are teenagers and they say, well, you never talked about that. You never talked about it to us. So I think it starts at Head Start now at this point.
Really?
Simply, I think it starts at Head Start because the concept of usage now, especially with legalization of marijuana, which is not the marijuana of my day from the 70s. This is the main issue of THC, which is at the highest level, 50 to 90% GMO. So this is a totally different brain scrambler. And it's so common. It's everywhere we go now. You smell it. It's like it's legal, right? And so
Right.
people think it's safe. And young people think it's safe.
Right.
We talk to kids and they say, well, it's legal. This is the newest thing that we're hearing. Well, it's legal. Yes, and
Right.
cigarettes are legal. Alcohol is legal. Prescription drugs are legal, but they are harmful.
Right.
They are
Right.
not safe.
Right.
They're prescriptions. There are ways to use it. And so those are some of the issues, and educating parents to understand that their children are going to come in contact with this. It's so prevalent. And at this point, the culture, when we talk to people on the street, when we talk to young people in schools, it's just such a common thing.
Right.
So we have to
It's part of the culture at this point, and
part of it.
it's lovely that you're targeting them so young. I mean, it's sad, but it's good that you're paying attention. You're paying that close attention, and I do know that you offer these programs that I mentioned earlier. I know you offer some certifications. I know one of them is positive parenting, and so if you would just go through some of the programming with us, so that our viewers are aware of what's out there and what's being offered, and also, you know, what your registration looks like, and how you cap out or don't cap out the amount of people that participate in a group. Like, can you walk us through exactly what that looks like?
I certainly can. So the parenting program that we use is Triple P Parenting. It has 60 years of evidence behind it. And we, because of our funding with OASIS and state funding, the programs that we're funded for must be evidence-based. So this is an evidence-based program. We also have other programs that we run that the state may not consider evidence-based because we don't have a university backing behind them for the research. But what we call proven abilities, things that we know work and kids can adapt. We also use programs like that. But the Triple P Parenting Program has 60 years of research behind it, and it's a non-punitive parenting program. We like to call it a support group instead of a program, because when we started using the program, we found that parents wanted to continue. They thought their grandparents should have taken it, their parents should have taken it. So it's a program that we encourage any caregiver to take. If we're in a school, we encourage everyone in the system to take the program. We started using it in recovery because we understand the impact of the generational cycle of addiction. Parents having been away from their children, or parents having been incarcerated. So we started in places like that so that we could mend families and help people to enjoy their children, and also to understand that they do know certain things. So it's a support group, and it's a dialogical process where parents get some tools, they get some materials where they begin to chart their progress, they begin to make plans about how they're going to engage with certain kinds of problems. The program offers what we call primary care, where a parent doesn't have to take the workshop setting discussion groups, but they can get one-on-one counseling and coaching, where they can spend 30 minutes with one of our practitioners, and they can deal with a specific issue. We have about maybe 150 different tip sheets that the parents could get. One of those, it might be something like, oh, whenever we have company, my kid acts up. So
Right.
visiting,
And so
and
the
the
tip
tip
sheets,
sheets.
before you keep going, I just want to, because I want our viewers to understand, like, this is all accessible to them online. So the tip sheets are actually something, is that something that people can download from the website?
No, it's not something you can download from the website. And what it is that if you enroll in the program, and the online programs are free, if you enroll in the program, you'll basically get this by phone, or you can get it in person. You'll get the tip sheet, and you'll have the person coaching you, and that is like maybe 2 to 3 sessions, because it's not a major problem. It's like an issue. Each part of Triple P stands alone, although we offer it as a 4 to 5 part series, and that has to deal with things like shopping, meal times, dealing with disobedience, dealing with children fighting, things like that. There are 5. If you go on our website, you'll see at thegroundswellgroup.org, you can go on that. And you can also go on the WEPA website, and you'll see all of the programs that are offered.
Right. So right now we only have time to discuss the Triple P program, and you have so many other things that you're offering. I found your website to be very resourceful, and so I wanted to enlighten our viewers with what it is that is there at their fingertips, and the fact that it's a program that they can enroll in that is free. My next question is it seasonal? Is this something that they can enroll in at any time? Is there a certain like qualification? I know you said they were like evidence-based. Does that pertain to that program as well?
Yes, so Triple P, that's year round. We're always here doing it. We are really focusing on Triple P teens now, because we see that parents of teens are the most challenged right now. So we are also offering Triple P 0 to 12, and also Triple P teens, which goes up to age 17. So both of those, the Triple P for teens deals with some other kinds of specific issues like peer pressure, helping kids cope with self-soothing and positive ways, alternatives, how to engage talking with your teen in more like a motivational interviewing process, rather than yelling and screaming, and closing spaces where you could actually communicate. So those are
The
some of the
programs offered within the Triple Ps. And just before we go, just for clarity purposes, Triple P stands for Positive Parenting
program.
Program. Okay,
Positive.
it's program. Okay, got it. I just wanted to be clear. I do want to say I'm sorry that we were unable to get you on Skype and or have you in studio. I look forward to revisiting this conversation on another segment, in another show. However, I do want to acknowledge you for your dedication to dismantling a system and just applying restorative justice to everything that you put your hands on. And thank you for bringing it here to our viewers, Reverend Addie Banks.
Thank you so much for having us, and I hope to be back.
So do we. All right, everyone, once again, that was Reverend Addie Banks, WEPA's Executive Director. And if you're interested in more information, you can visit wepa-bronx.org. That's all we have for you today. Stay tuned. We've got more open when we return.